Prime Minister Narendra Modi has slammed the Congress party for opposing the demonetization scheme of the government. The PM said the Congress never acted against black money and corruption while it was in power, and now it's opposing the government's decision for the sake of doing politics. The Prime Minister has warned government officials not to harass people adopting digital transactions with unnecessary queries regarding their transactions prior to November 8. The PM also urged party men to reach out to people to adopt digital economy, saying it will help poor and marginalized sections of society. The government has hit out at the opposition. Information and Broadcasting Minister Venkaiah Naidu has said that no one can doubt Prime Minister's intentions behind demonetization. On disruptions in Parliament, Venkaiah Naidu said it appears some opposition parties are fighting for the corrupt and terrorists and blocking the government's action. Both houses of Parliament will adjourn sine die for winter session with the passage of Rights of Persons with Disabilities Bill 2016 in the Lok Sabha. The Parliament has passed the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Bill 2016, with Lok Sabha approving it today after a brief debate. The Raj Sabha has already passed it. Earlier, Raj Sabha chairperson Hamid Ansari expressed anguish over the disruptions in the House during the winter session. The Supreme Court has left it to the centre to decide on the extension of the order on depositing old 500 and 1000 rupee notes after 30th of December. The Apex Court has now announced that no High Court will be hearing any petitions on demonetization, bringing huge relief to the government. After a lull of over 3 weeks, the ceasefire at the LOC was violated again, with Pakistani army resorting to heavy cross-border firing at Indian posts in civilian areas in Balakot sector of Jammu and Kashmir's Poonch district. A police officer said shells fired by the Pakistani troops landed in civilian areas in the sector. However, there was no report of loss of life or injury to anyone. President Pranab Mukherjee hailed the relations between India and Bangladesh on the day of Pakistan's surrender before the Indian military during the 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War, and said both the countries share common histories, heritage and tradition. The President said this in a video message during a seminar on 1971 India-Pakistan War and the liberation of Bangladesh organized by India Foundation at New Delhi. Nation celebrates Vijay Diwas to commemorate India's decisive victory in the 1971 war against Pakistan. Prime Minister Narendra Modi hailed sacrifices of martyrs. Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar, along with 3 service chiefs, laid wreaths and offered respects to the martyrs at Amar Jawan Jyoti in New Delhi. A Congress delegation led by Party Vice President Rahul Gandhi met Prime Minister Narendra Modi and submitted a memorandum on farmers' demand, including loan waiver and problems faced by them due to demonetization. The Prime Minister has promised to look into the matter. India remains one of the fastest growing economies in the world, the White House said, even as it underlined that inefficiencies remain in the public sector of the country. The voluminous report, running into nearly 600 pages, said that economic growth in India continues at a solid pace of a projected 7.4% over the 4 quarters of 2016. Japan and Russia struck economic deals to build confidence towards a peace treaty to formally end World War II that has been prevented by a spat over Russian-occupied islands claimed by Tokyo. The dispute over the islands known as the Southern Kurils in Russia and the Northern Territories in Japan has prevented the two sides from fully putting the conflict behind them. Russian President Vladimir Putin said that the next stage in ending Syria's bloody civil war will be getting all sides to agree to a nationwide ceasefire, as thousands of civilians and rebels poured out of Aleppo. Meanwhile, thousands of traumatized civilians and fighters poured out of rebel Aleppo through the night as a fragile evacuation operation entered a second day today. President Barack Obama has warned that the US will retaliate against Russia for launching cyber attacks during the presidential election after the White House accused senior-most Russian officials of direct involvement in hacking. Environmental authorities in China have advised 23 northern cities to issue red alerts, the highest possible air pollution warning, against the worst smog the country has experienced since autumn. China issued its first ever red alert for smog in Beijing last December after adopting a color-graded warning system in a crackdown on environmental degradation left by decades of breakneck economic growth. In hockey, India will take on Australia in the semi-finals of Men's Junior World Cup to be played in Lucknow. The home side has been in a terrific form as they remain unbeaten from group stage. Termed as favourites, India last won the trophy back in 2001.